Hello, everyone. It's Cheryl Millett here live at 5 Mondays on Facebook. And the idea with this, I don't know if I'll call it a show, but the idea of coming on every week is to share all things healthy. And that's primarily because there's a number of things around health that people aren't learning in school. That's probably the one thing around health. Or if they're learning things in school, where are they getting that information from? And the other thing is health is actually a business. And if anybody is providing health services or anything like that, then it's obviously a business is going to be there. But I mean, it truly is big business, not just business, but actually big business. And I don't want, and I don't think of it in a way at every turn that it's big business and we're out to make money. It's not always that at all. But the idea is, and there's a lot of good intentions too as well, and even in any side of health, they're always working with what they know, what they've learned. And, I've been able to stand back and continue to stand back, and I'll continue to stand back and see the bigger picture on health. And this is primarily reason why I come on at live at 5, or even written a book. I haven't written a blog in a while, but things all take time. Hi, Shirley. Hi, Sabri, if I'm saying that right, and Ivan. There's definitely an interest in health. It's not that there's not interest in it. Of course there is. And I think in a lot of ways, having running the chapter here of the Holistic Chamber of Commerce in Toronto is understanding that a lot of people don't know enough about health or holistic health or how it works. So they would tend to shy away. Or a fear of the unknown, or just unknown. And when I continue to kind of ask questions and various questions of people, it's clear. It's clear that we have a number of people just going with certain pathways, certain things that has been done for a while, or because certain things are put on a pedestal. Even science is put on a pedestal. And I like Richard Feynman. He's actually, do I have the book here? I've been sharing this book with a number of, how would I say it? I don't call them experts, but people that are actually in the know of a lot of things holistic and in it for the good reasons and so forth. But I'm going to show you this book, Richard Feynman, 6 Easy Pieces. It's a very simple book, but he's explained by, they say here, essentials of physics explained by the most brilliant teacher. But it's his intro or preface that's there, that where he actually talks to science and its limitations, which is we are observing things, or scientists being a made-up name for those people who are, the observers way back when, and so now you have science and scientists and scientific method. But he goes into it as an analogy, what they're doing as scientists as looking at a game of chess. He uses a game of chess. And so you have this game going on, and in chess you have 2 players, and what he's saying is the scientists are not even the players. They're not the players. They're observing what is going on, and they, from their observation, be it limited understandings perhaps or limited tools, will actually get lost in what is real or what is true or what is, what can actually turn or happen or so forth, or the bigger picture. And he says in there, it's like watching a chess game, but played by the gods, not them. They're just the observers. But partially I want to kind of talk to that, and we'll bring that in from time to time, is the mere fact that things in, I guess our centuries here, our decades here, have been led astray because of science, because they couldn't see it. In case is the time when Dr. Semmelweis would started washing hands in his, I'll call it hospital, and then the death rate of women getting infection at childbirth, after giving childbirth, went down tremendously, a lot. And he conveyed this to other doctors, other hospitals, and said, well, there's something, we're going from autopsies, we're going from surgery, we're going from wherever, whatever, we're coming in here, and if we wash our hands, is very helpful. It really lessens the mortality rate of women and getting sepsis or infection, as they call it. And so, but they didn't do it. So for 50 years, things continued the way they were. And there's other examples of it as well. What I'm going to get into here is a topic that you hear me talk about, and that's vaccines. And I don't really want to say, let's choose sides here. What I'd like to convey here more and more is the fact of safety. And that's what we should be focused on. Safety, yes, we don't want to go back to where we were with polio. We want to make sure things, especially in urban environments, that we don't have disease, bacteria, viruses and things like that accumulating like they did when they had the Black Plague or something like that, and catch things and monitor things and all of that. We can be grateful for that. But the idea is safety, as in the number of people that are having side effects, and not ones that I talked about this last time. We need to be responsible and report our own adverse side effects, no matter what they are, vaccines or actually medicines, to your government. Now, here in Canada, we absolutely have these forms, and we need to do that. So let's just take the middle road here, not pro or anti, but let's just focus on safety. And that's what I feel is missing, because if we think about how the body works, the idea is we need a strong immune system. We need to build an immune system. So when the vaccines are being given too early, and as much as they are, then that is stimulating the immune system that's not even ready. Right? It's just like me telling you, okay, you're going to go in the Olympics now. You're not ready. If you haven't been practicing as an elite athlete, if you have not been doing the time and the practice and the building, you will not be ready for competition, whether that's Olympics or not. You have to they want to make sure everybody's in somewhat shape, so you have to kind of compete to get there. But the idea is you wouldn't. And this is what I feel is the biggest thing here, is the safety is not there. The adjuvants, as they call them, or aluminum, mercury, formaldehyde, none of this sounds appealing for you to put directly in your bloodstream. Never mind swallowing it, your stomach going, I don't want this in here, throwing up, getting a bellyache, whatever it is. We can be blessed by our digestive system because it will stop certain things from getting into the bloodstream, but we do not have that when it comes to the vaccines. They go directly into our blood system, and they're not testing. They're not testing. I hear that from doctors. I hear that from scientists. I hear that from government. I hear it from all kinds of directions. The safety is the issue here. That's what the issue, and the timing and all of that comes into play because of what it is and why it's not safe. So that I just want to be clear on that comes into play. Your immune system comes into play in many, many ways. So anybody who's going to do anything or take, even taking a plane, for instance, and or go to school, when their immune system is compromised, it's a whole different ball game. Children who have autism, in working with the seal oil and these children, what I learned is that their immune system is compromised. They get sick a lot, and maybe some more than others. Also, talking to a person who does bike competitions, mountain bike competitions, and he will say that, or we were just having a conversation, and yes, he does get sick and, feel sluggish, or, even when I ran the full marathon that I did, but even when the training and running longer distances in the building or the practicing for the marathon, it was clear that, you could feel the immune system being challenged. And this is where you would take it easy. Or what did they say about athletes? Recovery. Recovery is so important. So we have this immune system. This is really what it kind of gets down to. It can only handle so much. It's, how can I say, it depends on the digestive system. And that's why they say the immune system, a big portion or whatever, a good majority of the immune system is actually lining the gut, because essentially that has got more exposure to the outside directly than would your bloodstream. And that's one of the reasons why having cuts and certain things, you can't allow those, open wounds and open sores and cuts, because definitely in the air is bacteria, and be it our lungs, and our digestive system can actually, and our nasal and everything can kind of filter that and support it. But the immune system these days, when you think of autoimmune diseases, that's related to the immune system. And that's an important thing when we think of people having a number of health conditions and wanting to live, the best you can live, the most optimum, traveling. I mean, my mom had cancer, and she got her spleen out. And just by getting her spleen out, she was now immune compromised for life. For life. Just that portion of the immune system would be that. I mean, this is where you store immune things and so forth. But the immune system's all over the body communicating. And in order to build up your immunity, yes, it needs a little bit of time. That magic 3 days when you have the flu. And it's a natural way to build it. So we really have to kind of focus on here of how can we build our immune system? How do we, when our immune system is being stressed for all the various reasons it's being stressed or immune compromised, how can we support it? Well, one of the main things for supporting the immune system is actually drinking enough or being hydrated. So no more fruit juices. No more fruit juices. Those Tang instant orange juice, packaged up juices that are pasteurized, from concentrate, all of these juices, high sugar, low fiber, these are, in my opinion, these are on the way out. I'm not going to say they're going to take decades to do that, but really you're going to hear more about this. And even making your own juices is a high level of sugar that's hitting the body, and that can actually suppress the immune system. Alcohol can suppress the immune system, and constipation can interfere with the immune system. I mean, there's so many ways you can play with it. The idea is hydration, but here's the bigger thing. The bigger thing is to bring balance into your life. And one of the things that's the most important is actually having the relaxation. Now, whatever relaxation looks like, to some, they're able to do a half-hour relaxation. But I would stress that to actually start moving towards relaxing the body, whether it's before your meals, as you get into the car, before you go into meetings, before you walk into work. So all of these things that kind of you're transitioning from something to the other, and maybe something trips you up, somebody cuts you off, or something kind of happens. And that would be the time to bring in relaxation. Now, some people have different techniques. Breathing and breath and slowing down the breath is one of them. And the reason why I'm kind of bringing this up also, and I know I'm kind of getting a long way, is because I started teaching YDAN classes. Now, YDAN is absolutely not understood. Well, not a lot of people know about it here, but it's the imperial family for thousands of years used to use it, and it was passed on to somebody there that was very sick, very ill, and she brought it here to Canada, and then her son did a video, and I learned about it probably about 8 years ago. So what's important to understand about these exercises first thing in the morning is, yes, they get things going. They get the liver, the fluid pumping through the liver, pushing that out. So there's kind of a vitality that kind of happens with the moving of the body and the turning of the neck and the back and things like that. But also because of the breath and the slowing of the breath for a certain, because there's only 19 moves, they're very simple, at that they actually feel more relaxed. So it's kind of like a peaceful place to be. But that relaxation, let me tell you, would really help your immune system to be stronger. And there's more to it with the nervous system, which is the key reason why I take the raw seal oil, is I feel absolute change to the nervous system. So you know how many people are stressed out there, and all that stress is affecting the nervous system, affecting the digestive system. And by me supplying the building blocks for the nervous system, which supports the hormonal, which supports the immune, everything is working the best that it can be. When I take more, I notice the difference. But the idea is to support the immune system. That's really what I wanted to come on today to talk about. I know it's Victoria Day here in Canada, so I wish everybody a happy holiday. But yeah, so your immune system, relaxation, not only does relaxation help with and all of those things, but it helps with supporting the nervous system, which supports your immune system. And all the ways that you can relax and all the places you can take these deep breaths, they say, but it's actually slowing the breath. So yes, deep breath, but slowing the breath from the lower abdomen up to the throat, if you want to look at it that way. But I'm going to remind people here that a breath is not just in and out. A breath is breathing in, pause, breathing out, pause, so you don't hyperventilate. And that's actually very natural. It'll feel very natural and very simple for you to take those breaths. And you can practice those breaths if that's your relaxation breath. And get there, get there. And the more you do it, the more you're going to do it more. You can do it before bed, you can do it before you wake up, you can do it before you brush your teeth. And just practice that. Practice breath, breathing, relaxation. And just, my massage therapist, a good friend of mine, and I was talking to her about, because I remember her telling me about 15, maybe even 20 years ago, that about people actually wear their shoulders as earrings. And I remember her saying that. And then I was more mindful of it and go, yeah. And then I'd be looking at people and going, yeah, they just have this up here. Now she says in springtime, she just told me that she tells people to take their shoulder muffs off. They're wearing their shoulders as earmuffs. And again, most of what I would share here is just be observing, be mindful. There's nothing terrible. There's nothing to feel guilty about. I mean, quite often I hear people say, well, I wish I heard about this, a long time ago. But there's nothing like the now, and be grateful that we discover things now or sooner rather than another 5 or 10 years from now. And I think that that's where we can just be mindful, is we never need to be hard on ourselves. We never need to be perfect when we're starting to practice things. The technique kind of comes later. And then when you think of things, that's when you do it. Not about, I didn't do it for the last day or for the last week or for the last month. But just start again, start up again. So that's really all I wanted to talk about today. Immune system, the various things, little tips and tricks and stuff that I'm thinking about here as I'm speaking. And I wanted to, yes, hi Lowell, hi Arlene, hello everyone. Yes, Lowell says, thanks, relaxing exercises support nervous and immune systems. Yeah, they do. And your immune system, really at the crux of it, is the one that's making all the calls in the body where it gets into disease. Now that's what I wrote pages and pages and pages on in my book. It's better to take you from one side to the next with it, but there is an association with the nervous system, with relaxing, and with the immune system. Everything's connected. Everything is connected. Whether you understand it is not necessarily important. You don't really need to understand it. But more and more, you come on and you listen here, you'll probably understand it that much more. But ideally, I'm going to wish everybody a healthy day, a healthy week. Practice your relaxing for sure. Be mindful of no snack movement. Be mindful of that. I want to put that out there, that I don't want to say I started the movement, but I definitely no snack movement is something I just labeled for that because it's very simple. I think just be mindful of no snack movements. We do not need snacks. It's just too much food. And it doesn't even matter if you're diabetic. It's just too much food. If you take too much insulin, absolutely. You take too much insulin, now we got meds interfering here. And you're going to have to, if you have to offset it by taking more food, then you're just going to have to offset it for taking more food, right? Because your insulin drug hormone will take down the blood sugar level. And if you take too much before meal, after meal, and then the blood sugar drops down, then a person would have to eat. But I'm just talking generally. We do not need any snacks. In fact, more and more people are being comfortable with having less food, less often, skipping a meal here, as they call intermittent fasting, and that's very helpful. So yes, immune system, everybody needs to understand where your immune system is, what affects it, what builds it, and that's important. And then, yes, no snack movement. Just be mindful of that. Again, wishing you another happy day, happy week. Until next week. And I encourage everybody here, like Lowell, to even comment what you've learned or a thing that you got out of it today, so others can learn. And any questions, any comments, even any topics that you want me to talk about. Otherwise, I just continue to bring things that come into my awareness for the week. And there you go. So take care, everyone. Bye for now. If there's any questions, please post them. That would be awesome. Take care. Okay, live at 5, Cheryl Millett. I'm going to continue to post these onto YouTube. So if you ever wish to go back and play some, then that's where they're going to be. If you don't want to search down here on Facebook, eventually, it's been, I think, well over a year that I started live at 5, and so YouTube would be better. I'll remember to post the link this time. So take care, everyone. Bye for now. Best of health.